Welcome back, everybody, to LARPs and TARPs. This is hopefully our final install. I said hopefully last time, and I wasn't hopeful.
Oh, it's going to be the
This
last
is
one.
going to be our last installment of E3.
I was going to say, not our last installment ever.
Yeah, no, so last episode
yeah.
of covering E3.
It's like literally E4 in like 2 weeks, so...
I'm very excited. For you guys, it is literally in 2 weeks today.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
If you're listening when it comes out, which obviously we know
yeah.
all of you are very avid
Of
listeners.
course,
and
the minute it comes
you
out.
will.
Are we ready for the last game of the year
Oh, I
in
don't
2
want to
weeks?
talk about it.
But guys, it's not your last game.
Hoist.
Flying Lead Nightmare, guys.
I know.
Right?
If we get tickets to
You,
Nightmare.
well, at least a couple of us will get tickets, and
Look,
you guys probably...
the thing is though, right? They're all
will.
good. I love them all, but I still can't play Empire for 6 months and that. And there'll be player events and there'll be stuff happening, but I'll miss my guy.
We could just go to a pub in costume and just sit there.
I think we should just.
We
leave
have
the
enough
guy.
friends that are local or / willing to travel to us that we could do our own mini player event.
That is actually very true.
I mean, you
Yeah.
Southern LARPers need to drive and visit us.
Yeah.
I mean, we've just had a couple up, and it was very nice to host them. Props to you two. You know who you are.
we do
Yeah.
need to do a froth meet, don't we?
Froth. We have been saying this for a year since the last Froth.
Maybe we should do it in the.
Over a year, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so wrapping up E3 for what would work out to be an incredibly dramatic Sunday.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sunday went fine. No hitches attached. Everything went to plan.
So a little bit of context, I guess, for what the Sunday was and what we knew it would be. So I had been hearing all sorts of rumors about this battle. I heard that there was going to be Minotaurs.
Heard about Minotaurs.
I heard there was going to be a bronze titan.
Yeah, I heard there was going to be a colossal giant that's huge.
Yep, a four-armed mechanical beast with two swords.
Yep.
I heard there was going to be a lot of the Jotun are going to be souped up, like they're going to have enchantments on them. I heard that there was going to be, I think they were a herald that basically looked like a super high lineage Cambion that was really powerful, who was an objective. And it was just going to be awful.
Spoiler alert. It was awful.
It was so rough.
One of the most emotionally and I think narratively satisfying battles.
Right, let's not get ahead of ourselves. It was a lot. So also, whilst we were good in getting ready for battle, the jackdaws marched past me. So I was getting all my armor ready, getting strapped into stuff. And I remember I was having a very important conversation with someone. I think it was to do with the other objective, which was there was going to be like these puzzles that we had to solve on the field. And then fucking, as I'm having this important emotional conversation, I just hear you chuckle, folks.
We swoop, we saw, we'll put you on the floor. Jackdaws.
March over to Dawn.
Speaking of them chanting on their way to battle, I wrote a song for the Jackdaws, and one of them has learnt it and was singing it into battle.
Aww.
Lucrezia apparently sang my song. Thank you,
That's so
Lucrezia.
good.
It was really cool of them to do.
Yeah.
I love our little marches into dawn. I feel like we raise everyone's spirits.
I think you make everyone think, I have not had enough coffee for this.
It's very funny. Again, I love just the kind of like, serious girding, getting ready for battle, and then just...
Lads, doors on tour,
Jesus
doors on tour.
Christ, marching up. But yeah, we were getting ready for what we knew was going to be a very fucked battle. I had quite a few potions on me. It was pretty intense. And then, I've realised we forgot to say something.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Alex and Chloe haven't been able to join us this week.
They're feeling quite ill.
Yeah, get well soon, guys.
Miss
get
ya.
well soon, Chloe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know they were saying that because they had monstering, so...
Yeah, they had monstering. I'm sure they did a fantastic job of monstering.
Yeah.
It's just a shame we can't get the other perspective.
Well,
Right.
I'm going to reverse back a little bit to Friday night, actually.
To
Thank
Friday.
you. No, sorry, Saturday night.
I was going to say, we're going Friday.
Sorry, I'm also...
Fast forward.
I'm also a little bit ill, but we can't have 3 Navari down because that, no.
Can't return to the days of just being Tom.
Yeah. I couldn't leave you chuckle fucks alone to do this. No.
They were the glory days. Just our egos getting out of control.
So Saturday night, I finally got to go to Senate nightclub. Woo!
Yay.
So we were like hanging around drinking. It got to like 2 in the morning.
It was at 2:30.
Well, yeah. Well, we didn't go home till like 2.
The wheelbarrow had been drunk dry.
Yeah, we were hanging out with Oily and Daisy and a few other people. And I was saying to Oily that I was going to come monstering with them the next day. And then it got later and later in the night. I said, I don't think I can come tomorrow. I'm going to be really hungover. He goes, what do you think the monsters are? Like, all the monsters just hung over people. And I was like, I don't think I can do it. And I was like, you can.
This is not something that Tarps endorses.
We don't endorse.
Be your best when bring your A game to monstering.
Yeah, bring your A game to both battles. But I suppose if you're going to be hungover in both battles, at least, there's equality there.
Out.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose you didn't fight, so it's like, whatever.
Well, no, exactly. That was the thing. Because I didn't fight, I was like, in an hour and over whether I should monster. And then I just got caught up drinking. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna monster. And then I ultimately had decided to not set my alarm, and if I was up in time, I would get up and monster. And I woke up, and the Grinch, we know when he's like trying to decide what to wear, and he's going, ooh, that's going. It, I'm not going. I did the opposite of that. I was going, no, oh, fine, I'll go. And eventually rocked up to the Dread Shields camp and got ready with them to go monstering. And that was, I was like, I'm nervous, but Oily, bless him, was really good at sticking by me the whole battle, making sure I wasn't lost and panicking.
So did you fight with the Dread Shields?
With Oily and another one of our friends, but you just lose people, especially
were you with
when you're
Alex and
monstering. No, not really. Like, I saw them a couple of times.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You didn't cast any repels on poor Oily and beat him up like other mean Dread Shields?
I didn't have any spells. I had 3 hero points and I had Cleave, which I forgot to use the entire battle. And I had a chest plate because, the armour they give you.
The poly plate, yeah.
And they said that I had 3 hit points plus armour, but because it was just a chest plate, I just took that as 3 hit points. But then someone else was saying that no, that counts as full. But then I didn't know what to do.
For it to count as giving you extra hits, it needs to cover your torso and 2 other full body parts, I think.
Yeah, that's
1 other full body part.
Well, that's what I thought. I wasn't sure if that was like
2 halves.
Yeah, so it can be like torso and helmet, that gives you hits. Torso and then like your upper arms and upper legs, or just your full arms or just your full legs.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I know that that's how it is in general, but I wasn't sure if because, obviously monstering, they can't equip everyone with that much armour. But either way, I took it as having 3 hit points.
Good, well done. The breastplate literally will just protect you from cleaving impact.
Yeah, exactly. And that didn't happen anyway. But I'll let you guys get into your battle a little bit before I start going on about mine.
For the monstering, I put on me van braces and greaves. I'm like, yay, kind of patchwork. 6 points.
Yeah, I fully chain.
Because you get the what's it called as well, don't you? Pauldrons.
Yeah, I fully chain it up. So
unfortunately, I don't have chain. I've just got me brig.
Yeah, fair. Because
I don't want to brig.
My kit's quite good for Yoni.
How is your rusty chain? Have you managed to fix it?
My chain is rusty. I've been given ideas on how to fix it.
You're a crusty boy.
I literally opened the bag and a pile of rust dust fell out.
Yeah,
rust dust.
It was fucking grim. But
we did an episode on LARP maintenance.
Yeah, and to actually fucking do it. The thing is, I thought I'd put it in dry, but clearly fucking not.
No,
so,
it creeps up on you.
Yeah,
I need to oil it next time. But anyway, so
we've marched up to Dawn. We've caused a racket. I love being the center of attention when we walk into Dawn. Everyone looks like these are the fucking mercenaries we've hired. We've got the Reapers, the Haldagon, the Seaver, and we've got the fucking football hooligan jackdaws. I don't even like football.
You just got that energy, but when
just
it comes to
vibe.
LARP,
just the hyper little guys. We just want to go and fuck shit up.
So this was an interesting one for us, I think, as Dawn, because this is the first time in a while that we've not fought the Druge.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the kind of like a lot of the speech that was done beforehand was to do with, helping our allies kind of thing, bolstering our, we're here to support, we're one empire, so it's nothing personal has happened to us, it's about supporting our allies and stuff. So we all get girded up and we march up to the gate.
I always love the march up to the gate. Everyone's in columns, the flags are flying, songs are being sung.
There's always like a vague panic that we're going to miss it, and then they'll stood outside the gate for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it always feels like you're simultaneously in a massive rush to get where you're going and then also just stood around or sat around waiting for things to happen.
What always gets me is the vendors who go there expecting to flog potions and not realising barely anyone carries the coin into battle.
Yeah. I guess
they must sell stuff though.
If anyone does have coin though, they're going to buy it. I guess you'll buy it, won't you? I'd been souped up on a couple of things.
Ooh, what you been souped up on?
So I had, what was it? I had Skin of Bark, Blood of Amber.
What does that do?
Which gives you an extra 3 hits.
Where do you get that from? That sounds
It's a spring
pricey.
ritual.
You got Big Boy Viridian
Got
to do
our
it.
house to do that. I had a potion which gave me 2 uses of Unstoppable, which gave me some fun roleplay effects, which was going to put my life at risk because it just makes you a bit more reckless. And I think that I had some magic armor on. So I was like as fucking souped up and prepped as I could be.
You could have been more prepped.
How?
Fortitude?
Yeah,
Knew
well,
you were going to say that.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but there wasn't another like thing I could have stacked on that.
Oh, no.
Because I'd had like one of the apothecary things. I'd had a magical enchantment and I had magical armor. So there's nothing else I could put on top of that.
So is it only 1 potion in effect, 1 enchantment in effect, 1 armor in effect?
Yes,
Cool.
something like that,
What
right?
are they called?
I can't remember now. Like it's some fucking potion.
I really need to read the Wikipedia and find all the items I actually need.
Yeah, but it was good. I was feeling confident. Anyway, fuck. Okay,
You're a confident little guy?
So we march onto the field. A lot of this was a blur for me. Like it feels like it started off pretty well.
It started off fantastically. I feel like we tore through that first field, got to the usual gate.
Yeah, it's a mid-gate, I think it is, isn't it?
Midgate, Cordraco, the Jackdaws, and Defrost.
Dufrost.
It's better than Del Rondo.
Del Rondo.
I'm getting better with my pronunciations and name remembering.
One day you'll pronounce my name correctly.
Hyacinth.
It's Bouquet.
Yeah. Defrost, Cordraco, and the Jackdaws were all holding the Midgate whilst you guys were getting ready. Now, pushing in past Midgate, I did not hear this, but talking to our lovely friend Ian after the event, he went and told me, he's like, by the way, you probably didn't hear me, but because of the night before, when my Jotun character saw the Jackdaw banners and yourself, I was like, oh no! Everybody run! It's Uncle fucking Nietzsche! And I so wish I actually heard that in the battle, because I love little touches when players do things like
Yeah.
that. When he told me, I laughed my ass
The
off.
terrifying Nicomo Van Dyer on the field.
Wait till you see the play. Apparently, I just slay everything I come across. So we burst into the woods. We start shredding things up. I did a bit of looting whilst we were there, whilst things were still going good. And it's a good thing I did, because I think I got 2 Elixir Vitae and a Truva Vein as well. So that was some more healing to stack on my little Nietzsche NHS pouch I've got for myself. Always carry your own, kids.
Yeah.
Don't
So-
rely on the healers.
Again, this has gone pretty well up to this point. We'd done a lot of... I feel like we'd done quite a few small skirmishes at this point. And then we were like, right, we need to find these puzzles.
Oh, I had seen a Minotaur very briefly behind me
Yes,
as well.
I saw the Bronze Titan thing.
I didn't
which
see the
was pretty
Bronze Titan.
I got to see him. I was right behind it in line.
Oh,
I
I'm
was
so
like, "Oh."
jealous.
I saw a
was pretty
Minotaur
cool.
too. It was pretty good. They were
Yeah,
cool,
I think
cool
I might have seen a
costumes.
Minotaur, but I
Yeah.
don't think I got as close.
It was good kit.
Yeah.
So this is
When
when
did it start
starts to
going
fall
down?
apart.
Yeah, when did it start going downhill with you?
So this is really funny. So there's a few stories like this, actually. A few people who ended up in this situation where we got we probed a little bit far. We got to these puzzles and we'd got to one of these, and then we started to see Jotun coming in. And then before we knew it, it was too late to pull out.
You're not practicing your pull-out method
No,
then?
exactly. Pull out methods weak. Pull out game weak. And as we were kind of withdrawing, we've got hit really fucking hard on all sides. I managed to get an Unstoppable off just before I went down. I did my cheeky little roar of Unstoppable, then went down and was on. I think I was on like 2 fucking hits.
Yeah.
Before that line there, and then the mistake I think I made was playing dead. Because if I was actually bleeding out, I wouldn't be playing dead, would I? I'd be screaming for help.
Yeah.
So I think that's the mistake I made because I was just lying there, which realistically, if I was dying, I'd be calling for help, but I didn't.
Unless
Yeah.
you were already cut off. And then
But
wait for
you would
time.
still do it, right? But
I was
anyway,
like, if you're down to 0 hit points, can you call out?
Yeah, there's
Nothing.
nothing to stop you from
Okay, but
shouting.
it-
nothing can stop you from making noise unless you're dead.
But if you've got down to 0 hit points, you can't take potions, right?
Correct.
No.
Okay, but you can call out for help.
Correct.
Okay, cool.
It's like if you are stabbed up in the middle of Anvil, you can shout your fucking lungs off.
Until
to try
you're
and get attention.
In
executed.
fact, it's recommended.
So I'm lying there. There's one of the other people next to me. I stretch my and I hear a motherfucker in my ear. You fought well, but not well enough. Chloe fucking was one of the ones that grouped that got us.
Yeah, I think she said at one point she saw you and she was just like, everyone get that fucker.
Yeah, so
Like-
we spoke about this. Wasn't great
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. But then again, I managed to get a stay with me off on the guy next to me.
Yeah.
So we were there. And then someone comes over to us. Are you bleeding out? I have never moved
You
so
have
fast.
to tell the truth.
I have
don't
never
you?
moved so fast in chainmail in all my life.
Yeah.
I fucking leapt up, and I don't.
Nope.
There's like an element of, I think, shock when someone just does that, and someone fucking hit me. So then I'm going 1 as I fucking run, start like cracking out and unstoppable, like finally trying to fucking get my hit points as I'm running along. So then I'm back onto 4. Another hit around the back. Fuck, running. Another hit. I hear someone cleave as they slap the back of my chainmail. I'm like, whoa, like running. I've used now my unstoppable from the potion and all of my hero points at this point.
Yeah.
And I am pegging it. Like, so I literally was like, you know what it's like in chainmail. I'm exhausted, my chest fucking screaming at me. And I run and I see the battle. I get to the battle. I'm behind Jotun lines.
So that's how your battle went.
So I see the backs of Jotun, and I see Jotun curved around Imperials, and I see the 3 Jotun coming, and I just go, stand there with my sword, but then have the shit whacked out of me, down. And I start fucking bleeding out, like lying next to this tree, fucking screaming. I wasn't like with my allies anymore, completely by myself in the woods, and I just see these Jotun line. I see them fighting, and I'm sat there,
This is where that fortitude comes in handy.
sit there going, yeah, I was thinking that. I was like, Tom will never let me live it down. I sit there going,
Fortitude.
going 180, 179. Did find, because I was panicking, at one point I was going 156, 155, 154. And they went, nope, hang on. Slow down.
I'm thinking of investing in a stopwatch.
Yeah, I think I will as well, so I can then check it.
So
once I've
long.
saved.
I got knocked down at one point, but it was near the end, and we were all like backing into like an outer character area, and it was like, Joe, do you want to back out, or do you want to go and try and, I thought, I'll go in. I got hit a couple of times, and I thought, okay, that's it, I'm out. But one time I was actually out in the middle of the field, and I actually got hit enough times to go down, and I didn't even think about a countdown. But to be honest, I was just like, oh, okay, I get a lie down now. I was just gonna go lie down for a little bit and then go off. But then as soon as I lay down, oh, are you an Imperial? Oh, I've come to heal you, and I'm just like. Obviously, not an Imperial physic, but like asking me, "You're not an Imperial, are you?" Okay, I'll heal
I
you.
thought someone from the Empire come to help.
That's
No,
good game.
no,
Yeah.
no. One of the monstering physics was nearby. I had seen them healing as well before. I was like, "No, I'm not an Imperial. Yes, you can heal me. Yes, I'll get up and fight again. I'll just run the other end of the field."
If you were a Jotun and healed by an Imperial, you pretty much have to do the honourable thing, thank them for healing you, and just walk off.
I think if you were healed, but I think
Well,
if an Imperial came
they-
to heal you, you'd say, I'm a Jotun.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a Jotun.
You wouldn't do that Druji thing.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
No, she's like, are you an Imperial? I was like, no, I'm a Jotun. I'm a Yagara. In fact, actually, to go like to the beginning of the battle, I was going to talk about like how they structured like the monstering and how we got
go on
divided up into little groups. This is why I wasn't with the majority of the Dread Shields, and then we got taught a little strategy where we were all like. There was about 12 of us, and we were put into, or in fact, there'd have been 16 because we were 4 little lines of 4, like all like side by side. And okay, the first person at the front of the lines, like they fight, and then they go switching, and then like you run around the side and go to the back, and then you take turns in a little conveyor belt like that. So we got to the front lines, we were ready to start fighting. Immediately, like I got impaled in the hand by an arrow. So I was like, right, I've lost an arm. I don't know what to do. I'll just skitter back. My friend, bless her, got stabbed in the eye with a spear and actually had like an OC injury.
Yeah,
guys,
jeez.
be careful. It can be quite dangerous. Like I've heard
Yeah,
of a few, like,
it's a contact sport, but again, usual disclaimer, pull your blows.
pull your blows,
avoid the
yeah.
face.
Yeah, exactly. So that immediately fell apart. But yeah, while we were lining up, I was like, I remember you guys were talking before about how it's fun to play the Jotun. You just get to shout, Jotun, Jotun. I decided my Yagara was a very stupid Yagara called Wulfric. And rather than chanting Jotun, I just chanted Wulfric. I just thought everyone was saying their names. So I was just there going, Wulfric, Wulfric.
Fuck's sake.
But yeah, then like the only other real moment I had in the battle was at one point just after I stood behind the forearm Titan, I got cleaved in the leg right at the front lines, and I fell down onto my knee. And then one Imperial soldier came out like, "You better take her back. She can't fight like that. We fight with honor." And I was like, "Cool." And then
Definitely
two people
not
got
Navari
me,
then.
and I,
Definitely Olivari.
of course not. Navari were monstering. It was either Wintermark or Marches because I was
look,
fighting.
that's not a slander. That's just Navari would not do that. They'd
Yeah,
be like,
true.
They'd be like, shiv, execute.
But yeah, I got like one of the dread shields, and then some other person like got me an arm each and like dragged me to the back, and then someone was like fixing like, "Have you ever had this cerulean mazarine on you before?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "This is gonna hurt." So she went like that with the blade like striking across my leg, and I just went, "Ah!" I was like, the nursery worker in me just muted myself from swearing, thinking, is it appropriate to swear in this moment? I can't shout that in a field, can I? I'm sure, obviously, that's fine.
I've
if you
sworn
swear.
as a child healed me. Like
As a child,
as a child been healing me. I've swear or whatever.
Yeah, I don't see
It's not a family friendly event.
No, exactly. Like, I think you're aware that your
Do
kids
you
are going
want in your
to
life?
hear things like that there.
Don't be horrible. You know what I mean?
Don't
Yeah,
be a
no,
kid
don't
kicker.
swear
Yeah.
at the child.
Don't be a kid kicker. Definitely don't kick kids.
We do not endorse swearing at children or kicking them.
No.
But yeah, so that was fun. The first time properly role playing, like
Yeah,
a
it's good
battlefield injury. It didn't go very well. I just spent the entire time running away from.
Well, did you
I
have
think it was
fun?
Wintermark. Yeah,
Then you
yeah,
weren't
it was all right. Like I feel like I want to try some different weapons, and I feel like it got towards the end, and I was like, "Oh, is it over? Oh, good, I can say that I've made it through my first battle." And then it was like, "No, we're going over here now. We're doing this," and I was like, "I just wanted to go now.
Oh god,
I'm done."
it's like there was no end of respawn.
The respawn
It just
did
No,
not
literally.
end.
coming.
The one time I respawned, I walked down to the area, and then there was a whole group leaving, and then that group sort of left. Then it took like a second. They just went, "Yep, everyone else go." Then we just kept following the whole line round.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It just didn't stop. It was fucked. Honestly.
No.
Yeah. So I'm bleeding out. Where are you at?
At this point, my jackdaws and Cordraco were meant to be on backline duty. However, we were jumping from front line over there to front line over there and patching up as many holes as possible. At one point, I believe I was fighting next to Godric and Aranel, which I'm guessing everyone knows by now. Ba, ba, ba. Was the last battle. But they were in good spirits. We were all like, okay, we're doing this. We're pushing the Jotun back. We're pushing the Jotun
Well, of course
back.
they were in good spirits. They weren't dead yet.
Savage. Oh, dear. But no, fighting back with them. Then I bounced back to the jackdaws, to which Cordraco and I was across like, there's a fort over there. Right. There's probably a piece of the puzzle in there. We need to take that fort and get the puzzle. Right. No one else in Dawn seems to be doing this because you're too preoccupied with other lines. So the jackdaws and Cordraco went and took some scouts to the fort. They said it looked all right, just a few orcs in there. So we start to push. And then think of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail scene where they've gone to attack the rabbit. And then it's like, oh fuck, run away, run away, run away, run away. As the fucking whole of the League EMU come pouring out of that fort. Mm-hmm. That's about 40 heavily armed orcs that know what they are doing.
Yeah.
Like, I fought with the National Bloc, I fought with the League EMU, and they hit like a truck. So at this point, I've got 6 of my jackdaws, and there's about 4 Cordraco. The rest of me jackdaws are elsewhere around the field, filling up the gaps. So we try and hold this Jotun line of about 50 people. A couple of us had to try to flank round as well, see if there was any spots to hit or get into the fort. No. So we go back, try and hold this desperate line. About 10 of us against 40. And it's like, right, step back, step back, step back. And I think this is, no offense, but I think this is what a lot of people were forgetting to do. I don't know if it was new players or just panic. People, as you say, were just cutting and running.
People, yeah, the amount of times the line would fall apart because a significant portion of people sprinted away was, yeah.
But at a certain point, it's like, right, we need to pull back. We've got to get out of here. My lot were fighting as much as we could. And then they just made just like, right, order a retreat, but they don't pull back fast enough because we've got to keep the line. And I notice the gap is closing. So I'm like, any jackdaws, come with me if you want to live. And I just kind of pull back as the gap is closing up. Because at this stage, it was a complete encirclement. We were going to get trapped in a donut of death. We were going to get Wintermark specialed. So at that point, it's like, all right, where am I I've got this going through my head. What stage of my game now am I with Nietzsche? Do I want him to die in glorious battle? Or do I want to get out and let the hopefully rebuild the jackdaws? My mate came up afterwards, who was in the EMU, and said, Nietzsche, Tom, this is the first time fighting with you and against you that I've ever seen you actually look worried.
Oh.
So at this stage, I'm like, right, I'm pulling out. The jackdaws have to survive. I've got to rebuild if I can. I've got to get out of here. And I didn't know this at the time. Other jackdaws like Enrico, who's the banner bearer, and I believe it was Lucio, were taking hits for me to get me out of there.
Oh.
Going down like true fucking heroes. So I managed to get...
What has Uncle Nietzsche done to deserve such loyalty, honestly?
It's less of a guild and more of a
Family.
cult of personality.
Cult.
Yeah, I was going to
You've started
say,
a
it's
cult.
definitely a cult. Captain goes down with his ship, Nietzsche.
Ship goes down with Captain Tristan.
Now if I can rebuild the ship.
The ship goes down as the captain rows away.
No, bless those guys for getting me out. They did an amazing job.
They didn't die.
And as the gap's closing, I see the banner and 6 or 7 jackdaws in a pile behind enemy lines. And they told me this afterwards. They're all there, kind of sat upright, bleeding out, singing, "For we were jolly good jackdaws, for we were jolly good jackdaws," in such a morbid sense. And once I got back through that middle gate, I just dropped to my knees
Oh dear.
and just slammed the ground.
At this point, I thought the battle was going really fucking well for you guys because I was, I wasn't doing well. It didn't seem like we were killing a lot of people.
We was going really well, and then it turned, and it was because a lot of Dawn got cut off because we probed it to try and...
I didn't see any of the jackdaws or any of Dawn or...
Yeah, it was. We
battle.
went in to try and find these things, and because you can see them in the Jotun troops, and then they all just appeared. That's how a lot of people died. Basically, is that the Jotun appeared from what felt like nowhere, and then we weren't ready for it. Basically, we'll talk about it afterwards. There's a lot of opinions flying around.
Okay, cut this out, Alex.
No, I'll keep this. This is spicy.
okay. Well, tell me after.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of ice. I don't think we should say what. I think all we should say is there are a lot of icy opinions flying around about what could have helped in this situation.
And because of that, I was shouting my head off when I got to my feet. I was effing, I was jeffing.
Ooh,
The word
effing, I'm
cowards
jeffing.
was thrown around. I know.
There is a lot of icy opinions on what happened.
I admit, I even went lightheaded. The adrenaline left me.
Oh.
The shouting, it's like, wait, whoa.
Yeah.
I need to sit down. To which I saw Jotun Chloe just dying on the floor. It's like, hey Tom,
Good.
you want a Werther's original? Chuck me one. It's like, here's Chloe. It was such intense RP.
So this is probably around similar time. So I'm bleeding out
Yeah.
on the floor, 199. And then I see the Jotun line that I'm behind starts to step backwards, slowly but surely. And I see some Dornish people on the other side that I recognize. And I lock eyes with them, and I put my hand out. I'm like, help. And then they lock eyes with me. A few other people also see me.
And he looked at me, and I looked at him.
He looked at me.
You watch as the Jotun line starts to push back, and they're like, push. And I see a few of them point to me and talk to other people, and you see them start to arrange and start push forward. And I'm like,
Okay.
56, 55. As they start to come forwards, I'm like, fuck. And then again, I have to put my shield up, like, behind you, as Jotun starts to step towards me and fall past. I'm just sitting there.
Behind.
Behind.
No one
As
trample
they start
me.
to come closer, and I'm lying there. My flower crown's fucking skewed. I'm just lying there, like, bleeding out. And then this one person, who I think like 2 or 3 times afterwards, grabs my hand, shouts, "Stay with me," and fucking heaves me up through as the Jotun line passes back. I think I had like 40 seconds left in my bleed.
Stay with me. How many hit points does that give you? Just one, but it gets you
It
up.
gets you up.
Resets your timer.
Yep.
Sort of
So I was on one hit, I got up, and I literally saw a healer I knew healed me, and I was literally like, right, I'm up. I went down with my Earl, with Lady Lordin.
Oh, it wasn't just you?
Nope. The house artisan. Another friend of the house. A noble of another house. We all went down at the same time. And I was like, I need to get back to him.
Yeah.
Like, I got healed up, and I was like, I need to get back to him. I start to go back, and I find Earl Talabrin dead.
Oh, no.
I find our artisan dead.
Oh.
I find both the people at the dimensions dead. All just bleeding out against trees. I see Viridian is speaking to Talabrin, and the fucking waterworks. You know what I mean? Like, no! And I've always said this. I've said this since I joined Dulac, is that every time Tristan goes on that battlefield, he has one aim, and it's the nobles get back through the gate.
Yeah.
And as he sees the fucking Earl of the house dead, well, terminal,
Yeah.
he's failed. And it was just this. And then the other thing is, again, so I'm not a retainer, obviously, for Lordine by any stretch, and I only read kind of a proxy. She's not there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where the fuck is Lordine?
Drink.
Now, I'd find out what happened later, but, oh, fucking hell. So then it's just like, I feel like I spent the rest of the battle just dazed.
Yeah.
I see you being like, my jackdaws are dead.
I failed them.
All the jackdaws are dead.
I think that's the most emotional you've seen me in any
Yep.
roleplay ever.
Yep.
Like the years I've seen you, like, this is the breaking point.
You were literally like,
God.
Despondent.
yeah, you were like, the jackdaws are dead. And you walked past me. I was like,
Like, you guys are having such a dramatic time, and I'm just there like, can I go get me lunch now?
the rest of the fight then just is like little scraps here and there where we can.
Then, if you may, can I read out a couple of messages that I got from behind enemy lines that I got my jackdaws to send me because I want their point of view?
Go ahead.
So, from my dear Preacher Pike, whilst he got cut off, he was furiously cutting down Jotun and screaming like a madman. He then immediately runs into another block of Jotun and in their tiredness asks the reinforcements, to which they ask, "Are you Imperial?" To which he replies, "No, I'm a fucking herald. What do you think I am?" They turned around and asked the others. In that split second, Archie goes and bolts off. So from playing the pure bullshittery of pretending to be a herald and getting a split second, they were able to get away and slip from behind enemy lines.
Hell.
On the other hand, I have Wilhelm, and this, I'm calling out you, Ian, for your hack reporting at the Noobs at LARP. No, brilliant podcast. Listen to them on their perspective.
You couldn't hold it for long.
No, can never be mad at Ian. You
Can't
hack.
even pretend for 2 minutes.
But the jackdaws are apparently cockroaches, because in that scrum, that massive pile of dying Dornishman jackdaws, apparently there was one Dornish playing dead, who then, as the lines had started to close, started feeding jackdaws and Dornish people potions.
Yes.
You, my friend, whoever you are, you mysterious, beautiful bastard, you saved the majority of my troops.
Fucking hero.
But when Wilhelm was going back to the lines, making a run from it, he was cleaved through his leg and he was impaled. But he was an artisan, and he hadn't had a anointing, so they were fighting as an absolute mad bastard throughout those fields.
But they also had limited use of arms on,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
But because of the way they'd been fighting for the whole event, one of the Jotun had seen him is like, They're an honorable warrior. Pick him up, let him go, bring this message to the Empire, lead these lands and never come back. So whilst I'm sitting there thinking the whole of the jackdaws are gone, slowly, dribs and drabs of them are coming back through. We are the fucking cockroaches of the league.
The cockroaches of the league. Fuck's sake.
Can't keep us down, apparently.
Jesus.
One of them does come up. I think it was Pike. And just told me, most of them back, Salt's dead. And after the devastating loss of everyone, then the happiness of noting how many are coming back alive, to realizing my bodyguard, butler, and one of my best friends has died behind enemy lines.
So Nietzsche's now the final founder of the jackdaws.
Out of the three, I'm the last one left. But Lucrenza comes up to me, he's like, they were like, Nietzsche, it'll be fine. Salt made it from Brokeliand. We all thought he was dead there.
Yeah.
He can come back. I go try pushing in. I can't get through the Dornish scrum of like people pulling back and fighting through. Just no way you're getting through. Pike, bless them, goes and does a Gabriel to get the body back. Pike goes up, drops both weapons. I'm unarmed. Can I have that one back? So the Jotun, being the honourable buggers they are, gave us Salt back. And as Salt's body gets carried through that gate, I finally get to do that moment I've been wanting to since the Jackdaw's founding. I got to my knees and screamed, "My boy! That's my boy!"
The absolute irony of the fact that Salt was only able to make it to this event because of a crowdfunding by the Jackdaws, because due to OC reasons he couldn't afford a ticket, and everyone paid for him to come and he just died. Oh, it was upsetting.
Harrowing. At this point, I decide anyway, Modesto and a couple of us go and get the Earl back from Core Draco. Bear in mind, I think they lost 7. Once we get that back, I'm like, Jackdaws, fuck this, we're leaving. And marched off the field early. There was nothing we could do at that point. I'm not going to lie, I didn't leave the field graciously and some words were thrown in IC.
It was spicy. Yeah, so basically what happened, I kind of, at one point, so like many in the House are dead. Eventually we do find, so Captain Charge and Lordine she managed to get away, but they'd fallen down somewhere else.
Drink.
But they had managed to faking dead. And they were passing potions between each other. Back. So Lordine gave one to Charge gave one to Lordine. Well, no, whatever. And then someone executed Charge. Not execute, sorry. Put him back onto bleed again.
Oh,
yeah,
there we
Jesus.
go.
No, sorry, not execute. Put him back onto bleed again. He was like, Lordine, there's another potion. She gets out, feeds it him to him again. Someone else puts him back down to 0 hits. And they had another. Basically, it was just like a stealth mission of try to get him potions continuously until they managed to get away, which is what they told me when we got back together. And then we were all just fucking defeated. There was like a little bit of skirmishing, keeping the Jotun back. Then they did their usual, like, right, we surrender, we're off kind of thing.
We'll be back, He-Man.
And then, left the field, got back to Dawn, and laid all our dead out in the Glory Square.
Worst Imperial feat you think we've suffered as a team? Me and you, doing Empire?
Yeah. Well, I think it was similar in number to last time. To autumn. No. Yeah, autumn last year. In Dawn.
Oh, yes.
Dawn got fucked then as well because of the venom bombs. So we've laid the dead out in Dawn.
Some would call that a Dawn mat.
What?
A Dawn mat.
Dawn, fuck off. Kerry, what were you doing after the battle? Because we had another kind of storms coming early pack down situation.
I was patting myself on the back for making it all the way through the battle without having a panic attack or something. So that was, I was like, yes, look at me. I didn't actually freak out. That was actually okay. I didn't do very good. I forgot to even do a single cleave. But, it's fine.
You were brave. You did something you weren't entirely comfortable with, and I commend that.
I think if I was rubbish at fighting, then that's only a good thing, because it just means that Imperials got to, kill monsters. So,
Look, I go to every battle, and I'm still rubbish at fighting.
Yeah, fair. It was quite funny skittering back and taking off, the red, sleeveless jacket thing that I'd been given, and just switching on to my regular, because I see the jackdaws were arriving back at camp at the same time as me, so I whipped that off. I whipped my leaf mask on because it covers where my scales should be.
Nice.
And then I whipped on my necklaces on, and I'm there putting things on and tying my belt on properly and stuff. As I'm finding out what's happening, and then I find out that Salt's dead. And I'm just there oh my god, wait, I want to come to the funeral. Let me just grab this. Oh, sorry, I've been being very busy.
I've been berry picking.
I've been berry picking, and I've just got back. I'm so sorry. And then I've got a very short attention span with things. And the funeral was going on quite long, and I had other things to do. I had to return that red fabric that I was borrowing, and I wanted to tell people and say one. I was I've just been at a jackdaw funeral, expecting someone to be is Uncle Nietzsche dead? No one took the bait at all. I was disappointed in all of you. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I was just decided to keep my mask on. OC, because I get really sick of putting on my face paint and I couldn't be bothered. Icy, to honour Salt's death, I wore my leaf mask for the rest of the day. But yes, Tom, do you want to talk about the funeral in a more respectful manner?
Well, we have to get healed up at the hospital.
Yeah.
To which we have Salt kind of body laid down in the corner, and a lovely little touch from Akia, because Akia came over and said, if there's anything you or your jackdaws need, Corvin Hall will be there. Us Corvids have to stick together. And I love Akia, but usually they're just a cheeky little guy doing pranks.
I love Akia. See, the thing is, I've seen sad Akia on multiple occasions.
This is the first time I've seen sad, solemn Akia. Usually they're running around with Twig causing shenanigans, and they're my favourite power shenanigan team at Anvil. But seeing them in a mourning state and apologising for my loss was really quite touching. Coming off the field, there's some amazing photos of sad-looking jackdaws as well. There's me next to Enrico carrying the banner. There's an amazing one of Gustavo carrying Salt's body out.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Big ups to Empire photographers.
Always big ups. Always give them a donation if you can, because they do God's work.
100%.
So we take Salt's body back to the league.
Mm-hmm.
One of my lot run across to the first Spark Carter to arrange a funeral for us.
Yep.
So at this point, we've lost Clem on a skirmish the day before. Lucio has not been recovered and behind enemy lines. So that was a sad blow. And, of course, we have Salt's body. So what we decide to do in the most jackdaw way possible, we get our friend Lucy's little OC cart and put blankets over him and then load Salt into this cart. Put his sword across his chest, make him look respectable but oh so comfortable, and get into marching formation and march over to the first Spark Carter.
How he didn't smile while you were pulling him along in that cart, I don't know.
Then we get there. It's I can't remember the name of the player, but one of the first Spark, really good guy, fantastic role player. Had a lot of good chats with him. He's a really friendly dude as well, but his character is so serious as an ambitioner priest. So he's doing the funeral. It's all very serious, lots of tears. Quite a few members of the league are there. You're there, aren't you, Kerry?
Yeah.
And at that stage, at that time, I swear on that spot, on the souls of Reiner and Salt, that I would dedicate myself to ambition and raise the Jackdaws to being the greatest mercenary company the Empire has fucking known. There was laughters we saw, there was speeches, Martim told a tale, Modesto made an oath to Nietzsche, that there may be a problem with him being the prince in waiting, because as long as they draw breath, there is no way I will die. So effectively, they have sworn to protect me with their life.
What if you have, like, you know, a non-battlefield related death?
Well, there's nothing to be done that. Get out of the way, Mr. President! Or Mr. Merchant Prince,
I'll stop that heart attack from hitting you.
Which was fucking touching. Seeing how loyal my jackdaws are amazing. And we had a potion as well. So, had to recast this because I thought, oh no, I can't drink this. It's a mage potion, so Martin drinks it. And it's so we could speak to Salt through Beyond the Grave.
Is he a spring mage? Summer mage?
Summer mage, yes.
I don't know what summer one is that does that. Cool.
Well, there's a potion that does that anyway.
Yeah.
So it was the last opportunity to talk to Salt and see him off through the labyrinth. He said I was the most handsome jackdaw in my time, but God time hasn't been friendly to me. And he was talking about his interpretation of the labyrinth. Like, I think it was a mirrored web, and he was making his way through, and he was so happy that he died fighting amongst friends, and happy to see Reiner once again. It was fucking emotional, but one bit made it a particularly amazing. And as the funeral's going on for my 3 jackdaws, Lucio is being carried down, and he shouts, "Guess who's back, motherfuckers? Can't kill me!" To which...
Halfway through a funeral and everyone cheers.
Which one's Lucio?
He's
Dark hair.
dark-haired, beard, wears black armor, big shield.
Oh,
Is
like
he your
big
new
black
bodyguard?
hair. Does he wear a wig?
He doesn't wear a wig. That's
you're
a
thinking
campaign.
Think of someone else.
Yeah, but no, he's Lucio. One of my 2 Italian Filippos who got in the jackdaws. He comes down the hill. I'm back, motherfuckers. We're like, maybe a bit inappropriate for the funeral. Look, I'm so happy.
Well, no, but you would be, right?
Yeah.
Like, you thought they were dead.
Oh, absolutely.
So having him come back, I was like, it's sad I've lost 2 brilliant jackdaws, but it's amazing we got one back. Apparently, him and a Dornish person had snuck off behind enemy lines and spent like 20 minutes going the long way around the Jotun. They played poker and card games behind enemy lines on their way. They went on a right fucking adventure.
Fucking hell.
And the rest are, right, lads, you've made it out. You're alive. So it seems the jackdaws went on quite an adventure whilst I was having a mental breakdown on one side of this battle line. They're all doing the fucking Great Escape.
Fucking hell. That's fucking awesome, though, that they had that little mini adventure.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Jesus.
That's pretty much... The funeral was like the last bit before the rain came in. Other than you coming up to me whilst I'm having a special a street meeting with someone.
So I'm in Dawn, like I said, we've laid out the dead. There is various speeches done. I know that on the battlefield, Talabrin had given Viridian his test of metal to make him a knight errant. And we were kind of there, like everyone was laid out, and I just kept learning that more people were dead. I just kept saying, I saw like Godric and Arenal, I saw William Marshall, I think his character is, who was on the floor, spoke to them. Another friend of mine who had been in Wintermark died next to like someone that he loves. So that was kind of really beautiful. So it was a really close friend of mine, and also like I was friends with the guy who died, and also the person he was leaving behind. So we had like a moment together. God, who else died? So many people died. Obviously, our artisan had died. But he wasn't laid out.
It's the hot meme of the season,
and I was literally it was awful. I felt like I'd got to the point, I think then, where I had cried my last tear. Like
real tear or stick tear?
Oh, God, real. Fucking hell.
I still haven't mastered being able to cry at all at LARP yet.
It was rough. There was quite a few speeches. There was one very controversial speech. And then some beautiful solidarity from Wintermark. They came along to be like, thank you very much. And they were speaking about how heroically we fought.
No thank yous from Wintermark for the jackdaws. Grumble, grumble, grumble.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
We had like a nice moment. And it was, fuck. So I had a couple of things that happened at the end. One thing, which I won't go into too much detail, was lining up something for next event, which is quite fun. So hopefully that's the active game, so I won't talk too much about it. But last I'd heard, the jackdaws had gone down. So I marched over to the league, fully plated up. I think I was with Neve and Otis at this point. I was fully armored up. I got to the jackdaw camp. Again, Dornish Knight, full of armor, screaming, "Where the fuck is Nietzsche?"
I haven't told you this, but when I saw you at the bottom of the hill and the face you had on, I was like, oh God, Tristan's going to punch me in my face for pulling out early.
So I literally got to your camp. I was like, where the fuck is Nietzsche? And they all turned to me. I think so. I don't know, but it felt like someone drew a weapon. Everyone was like, why? I was like, I didn't. Where the fuck is he? And then he's having a meeting that way. And I marched off. And then Jackdaw's like, so he started to come towards me. I start to march off towards where you are, start going up the hill. I'm like, Nietzsche! And you look at me. I grab your shoulder. I don't know who you were talking to. You were clearly having a very important meeting. Yeah, because that's it. Someone said he's having a meeting. I said, I don't give a shit. Walked over, pulled you aside, I just hugged you.
Oh, it was brilliant. I think that's the first bit of emotional roleplay we've had between. We've had comedy, nemesis, frenemy, that's the word. Roleplay, never emotional. It was fantastic.
It was very good. I very much enjoyed the I don't care about your meeting. I couldn't give less of a shit. Which was really nice.
My staff of jackdaws following behind you
that
as
was
well.
So funny. Everybody thought I was about to deck you.
I thought you were about to deck me, and I'm me.
Everyone thought I was gonna, but yeah, no, it was more of a kind of like thank you. Basically, thank you for fighting with Dawn, and you've lost something to fight with Dawn. Don't know how I would have felt if Tristan knew you'd left the field early, but we'll.
We left the field when there was nothing more to do.
But yeah, no, it was. It was a very emotional event. I've written some stuff since, and I really recommend this as well to anyone. Like, it's nice to write down like stuff that happens like after the event, like where your character goes and what they do.
Yeah.
So I very much like wrote what it was like for Tristan when he got back, and he's very much like he's very angry at the minute, but like very much like it's all just like he's cried everything he can, he's shouted as much as he can, and he's just like right. Time to kill some fucking day heralds.
I'm going to have to think of how this is going to affect Nietzsche. I think this is going to play with his mind a little bit.
Yeah.
He's lost two of his best friends.
Yeah.
And he's an angry boy. He's not used to being an angry boy.
Yeah.
So this is going to be making an interesting next event.
All the anger and ambition, I think you are about to sprout some horns.
Don't think that's not how it works, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You can go to a special castle in Dawn, they give you changeling juice.
He could have been a changeling all along, and it's just coming out now with all this emotion in the air.
Nietzsche isn't that vain, though. He's egotistical, but not vain.
Yeah, but that comes with it, you know?
Just a little bit
Egotistical, but not vain.
The Empire doesn't need any more changelings.
Oh, yes, it does. Changeling Empire.
But I think that hug moment and that emotional RP was my full stop on my game. That was a good place to end it, and then the storm was rolling in.
Yeah, and then we had literally the wettest pack down.
It was the most horrible wet
my
down.
My white t-shirt became a see-through t-shirt whilst we were packing up. I've never been more miserable.
And you were shouting us to hurry up, but we were just like, so Tom's coffee is split open, and there's so much water in the tent that there is now
coffee in the tent.
I would literally, I think I've spoken about this before when we were going to iLab, and I was very much felt like I was emanating Dad's lost whilst driving energy.
Yeah.
Like, just like quiet. And then every word, like, just like, and then when I was like packing the van up, and again, I wasn't annoyed with anyone, obviously. I was just
you were annoyed.
I was I
think everyone was just like,
ambient annoyance. I'm just like shoving stuff in the van. We sit in, somebody says, I think it was you. Well, it could be worse. And I just turned around.
It was me.
Just turned around. Jeans soaked through, shirt soaked through, can't see because my glasses are fogged up, hair dripping, just like.
At least we got the windshield wiper working.
Oh my God. Did we mention that?
No.
Did we mention the fucking windshield wiper came off the van on the motorway on the way down?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then the realisation when we just got, it'll be all right. And then when we were packing up on Sunday, and I just suddenly went, Morgan, it's going to rain heavily for the rest of the day. We don't have a windshield wiper.
On the driver's side.
Right.
We
we
managed to
managed to make it
jerry
work.
rig something in the end, but it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, what?
No, my clothes were still wet when I got home.
It was fucked.
4 or 5 hours later.
How many days? I think it took 7 days in our small little flat to dry out our bell tent.
Because if you're like me, I had my awning, my ground sheet, and my tent to dry out.
Yeah, we
and
had ours
and it
all
kept
separate as
raining in the
well.
garden.
Well, we
So like,
on the Monday, it wasn't raining for most of the day, so we'd managed to hang out the top part of the tent. Everything else we'd just dried out inside because it was raining all week.
yeah, I had something on my
still
banister,
took a
2
week.
bits in my garden, but it took me ages to get it packed up. And by the time I packed up, Mum borrowed it, took it away for her holiday,
Well,
brought it back wet, so I had to dry it a fucking second time.
We were meant to be going camping this weekend, and we've gone, nope, you know what? Instead of going camping with our friends, we're going to stay over at their house and watch the Lord of the Rings extended editions because I'm not drying out a tent again.
Right. So, for me, probably the best event in terms of roller coaster emotions.
Yeah.
From Nietzsche's victory.
Type 2 fun. Real Type 2 fun.
I forgot to mention something at the funeral. My street sign, Nietzsche's Nook. I've been thinking of a comedy term all weekend from when I bought it. Just because, like, a funny little thing. That's Tom's gimmick. He's a joke character. But at the funeral, I was like, no. This is the perfect chance for some proper emotional RP. It will be Nietzsche's Nook, and its tagline will be, always grateful for Salt's sacrifice. Salt now has a permanent memorial in Anvil.
Don't you love it? When you get, I feel like it's a really good moment. And this, again, you were saying this feels like a defining moment for Nietzsche. That first like emotional punch to the gut, and you can feel like, oh, my character's a real person.
I kind of had it with Reiner, but that happened kind of
that
out
was
of
it
game.
down.
There was no
Yeah.
bleed because it was just
No.
like, okay, you have that kind of, not that your character's not a real person before, but when you feel that serious emotion, you're like, wow, okay, God.
I don't know, like, Salt is the sort of closest character that my character's known who's died
Yeah.
in game. And yeah, I was very sad about it. But like, it's not like Salt and Highland were close,
Yeah.
you know?
No.
It was a
it's-
hell of an event for me. Going from the height, Nietzsche's and the Jackdaws party. 1 year of being the Jackdaws, 150 people celebrating our greatness and what we've achieved, to going to the after that, halfway through that battle and thinking I've lost everything. At one point, I thought there was 4 of us left and we'd lost the mercenary banner and our employers had all died.
It was.
Then going from that to, oh, we're back. We've got everyone. Then realizing Salt's dead. It was such an emotional roller coaster. My most hard-hitting event by far. Loved it.
I think it's funny to call it a highlight, but I think one of my highlights was my friend Hector's death, because again, it was such it has, not only was it a very intense emotional role play time, but also it's given me game in a lot of other avenues.
Yeah.
So there is a particular person that I have problems with now. The cold sun is a big thing for me now. There was another one of my friends who I had a massive argument with over it. Like, it gave me so much to take forward, and also it just was so intensely emotional. I also didn't mention this last time, but on Saturday night, a group of us had a little drink together, and we'd planned to do it with the guy who died. In fact, no, I don't want to say this was special, but we had like a little memorial for the character, and it was a very nice little moment, which is, I think, another one of my lovely highlights. But yeah, thanks, cheers for dying, mate, because that was fantastic, because it gave me a lot, but it was very strongly emotional for me.
So that's your best moment.
Yeah.
Your best moment of the event, Kerry.
Being able to shoot arrows at you at the archery range.
Who wouldn't want to do
Or
that?
actually, no, or doing the Smuppet show. I bet the rehearsal specifically for the Smuppet show, because like it was a bit, nerve-wracking actually performing it, but like actually rehearsing it and getting everything coming together, like that was really fun.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
I think it was my speech at the Jackdaw birthday party. It's like, for me, that felt like, oh, I'm actually a big character in Anvil. Not like an egotistical, like a senator or whatnot, but people have come
but
out.
like, people know your name.
People know my name. I feel like, oh, you mentioned Uncle Nietzsche now. A good few people know his name.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being able to celebrate all mine and my Jackdaw's LARP accomplishments in front of all those people, from going from 2 people a year ago to that, felt absolutely amazing for me.
It must be nice having people know your name. I'm pretty sure that at best I am the dickhead with the dice.
The dickhead with the dice.
You're spraying that over every LARP you go to.
Every LARP I go to. We even did it at the bachelorette party at the Hobbit LARP.
Jesus Christ. Dear.
That wraps up E3.
E3. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. We hope you've enjoyed listening to our adventures. As always, you can find us on social medias. Let us know how your event went. If you got up to anything, is there anything you particularly enjoyed listening to?
Are you dead?
Are you dead?
Did you watch the Muppet Show?
Did you watch the Muppet Show? As always, as well, you can support us. You can find us on Patreon. We've now changed the name of Patreon to Fabletop. So if you want to support us, you can find us on there. And also, you'll see our Empire discount codes in the description. So you can get £15 off, and then we get £15 off as well.
If it's your first ticket.
If it's your first ticket. And also, if you are, we only speak once a week. It must get, heartbreaking not being able to listen to us more.
Yeah.
So we've got a new project we've just released, Fabletop Tales, which is our Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
The first 5 episodes and little character introductions are available right now wherever you find LARPs and TARPs. And we are going to be releasing weekly for this first campaign.
Is that going to be on Wednesdays?
It's going to be released weekly on Wednesdays, yes. Yeah. So please go check it out. Let us know what you think.
We hope you enjoy that.
Yeah.
I assume there's some crossover between LARPing and D&D.
Yeah, maybe a little Venn diagram.
We're just fucking big nerds.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also some little Easter eggs in the campaign. Some
little Easter eggs
are in there.
Have a look out for them. Comment if you notice anything.
See if you can see the difference between our D&D characters and us.
Oh God, there's
our LARP characters.
Crazy differences. But yeah, thank you very much everyone for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye guys.
Bye.
Bye.